Okay, you guys, welcome to the Make a Dent podcast. I am so excited to have on my good friend Barb of Sweet Mac Shop. Many talents. Oh, I cannot wait to dive into this episode. Barb, thank you so much for saying yes. Thanks for being my friend. Thanks for being on the podcast, and welcome.
Aw, thanks. Welcome. Love to be
I'm
here.
I'm so happy that you're here. So I have so many things to dive in with you, but let's give the people a little bit of a background. I'm gonna
Okay.
tell them what I know, and then you correct me and jump in. Is that okay?
Let's do it.
Okay. So you had a brick and mortar shop before you decided to do Sweet Macs. Sweet Macs is
Yes.
at Sweet Mac Shop on
Sweet
Instagram
Mac Shop. Yep.
and probably Facebook. You're on
I
Facebook?
have a Facebook and it is Sweet Mac Shop. You just won't ever find me there.
Okay. So at Sweet Mac Shop on Gram, and you started about a year ago.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And before this, you had a brick and mortar place, and it was describe kind of what kind of brick and mortar it was.
Interior design. So interior design was my background. And so I had a store that was a home decor store. Everything that you might find at the silos in Magnolia and Waco, Texas. Just very trendy, very fun, very unique, locally made artisans that were in my store. Yeah,
Awesome. Okay. And
it's still up and running. It's
right,
yeah,
right. It's still going. You
yeah.
just exited.
I just sold
Decided to do
it.
something
Yep.
as it. Okay. Congratulations. That's awesome. How long were you in it?
4 years. I started it and built it. So we started out in a 400 square foot space, and then we grew to 4,000 square feet.
Holy gosh. Now this,
Yeah.
I mean, 400 to 4,000. This is actually very symbolic of your past year, for your new endeavor, I think. So when we met, I think that you had probably 2,000 followers on Instagram. Now, we know that followers aren't everything because you can buy followers, but yours are organic, and you now just broke over 11,000.
12.
12,000. Okay, I didn't check it
Yeah.
for two. I didn't check it for 2 days, and now we're over 12,000. Congratulations, and
Thank you.
that is insanely impressive. Now I have my theory on what I was able to see from an outside perspective on how you were able to grow that. You are ambitious in all your endeavors, as we can see, from 400 to 4,000, from nothing to 12,000 in a year. I have a question before we really dive into Sweet Max and some
Yeah.
other like business stuff. Have you always been entrepreneurial?
Yes. Yes. I feel like, and I explained it to my husband this way, just even a couple months ago when we were looking at another brick and mortar to maybe move Sweet Mac into. And I said, I have this fire, this spirit that just has to create, and not just create, but create and share and build. So like, I actually just read the book by Ellen Bennett, Three First Details Later, and it's just encompasses kind of how I think, where I just jump all in. I'm all in 100%, and then I figure out my infrastructure, and I tend to do that more than not. But there's something about connecting with humans, and I feel like that's why my account has gone the way it is, because I answer every DM. I
Mm-hmm.
give everyone equal amount of time. I invest in them so that they can go on and learn and know and perfect and teach.
I love that. Do you think that's the thing that drives you the most is human connection and the creative side of it as far as like fueling that fire and allows you to go
Creativity.
all in creativity?
I
Amazing.
am a creative brain from dawn to dusk, where I can just, even sitting here right now, I just came up with three really cool reel concepts that I think I'm going to bang
Ah,
out later. Like, I just always am in the creating space. And that is why, like, we talk about followers on Instagram. I actually can't follow very many people because I feel like sometimes if I see that what they're doing might be a little bit like mine, then I'll second guess myself. And I never want to duplicate anybody on purpose. Obviously, copying is the greatest form of flattery, but
mm-hmm.
for me to stay in my little creative space, I have to I have to keep what I see and what I'm exposed to a minimum. I don't watch TV. I don't watch like I rarely watch movies. I
Mm-hmm.
always am just thinking, thinking,
Mm-hmm.
thinking.
Well, you've done an incredible job, and I just love to hear what fuels people, because I think a lot of times, if someone doesn't know outside perspective, hearing about entrepreneurship or an entrepreneur, I think a lot of people think it's money driven at times.
Yeah. Yep. 90% of the time, people think that we're millionaires.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh.
LOL.
Yeah. When like the exact opposite is likely true,
we're dead broke.
especially for the first years, right?
Yeah. You're not entitled to that big money until you put the work into it. But putting the work into it, you're not getting paid for all the hours that you are. Yeah.
So we'll finish off this background here. So you started Sweet Mac Shop, and it's macarons. Did I say it properly?
It's kind of like a real phlegmy macaron.
Macaron. I gotta do more French. Macaron. Okay, macaron. You got it. So, and
we call him Max.
Max, we've talked before, and you hadn't made any prior to basically launching your business, right?
No, the first day I made them, I sold them. End of story.
They are not the easiest thing to make either. If anyone's ever attempted a French macaron, it is there's technique, there's process, and you just teach, which I love so much about your account. And to me, when I heard about kind of your strategy, it was a little bit different than I thought. I thought you were just going to be selling, like making Macs and selling them. And you are, but tell us about your strategy and like what your business is, because you do so much education and you give away so much free advice. Like that's like a ridiculous amount. Yes, and I kind of know why, but I want to hear you. Why do you do that? And what are you kind of structuring? How are you structuring your business? Because it's not just like, you're not just making Macs.
I'm not just making Macs. So you got to pay for your party, right? So you got to pay for, whatever comes down the road. So making them and selling them, that was the knee-jerk business initially. Until I started going to other accounts to try to find out tips on how I could do something, and everyone was so tight-lipped. And I was like, that's fine, but you're in North Carolina. I am not going to infringe on your business. But so often people don't know who you are, especially when you're a small account. Are you their competition's neighbor, asking them questions? So it's like a real quiet space when it comes to helping. Everyone is super friendly, but you don't get a lot of helpers. And so then my eyes started getting open to the things I could do. And so we went from a bakery, which we still bake, we just did a pop-up shop, but that was to pay for something, that's to pay for something. But we went from that to, we grew this national audience. Right. So before we had a real local audience, and then it just blew up into national. And so then it's me balancing talking to my local customers and then talking to my national customers, because you got to think I'm teaching my locals how to do my job. Yeah. So, but then here's the bottom line. People still line up down the road for our pop-up shops, even though I've given them all the tools to make them themselves, because they're there for me.
Yes, the experience.
They're there to support me and my brand.
Yeah.
So.
I love that. Yeah. And so with big picture stuff with your business, what are you trying, like, how do you describe your business to people that, like, I guess anyone, but I think maybe you just say, like, I make macarons, but I know there's more. Like, I know your goals are more. So what is your business? What do you think your business is if you had to, like, summarize it? And what's your kind of, like, big picture goal?
So my big picture goal is just to enable everyone with the skills to be successful. Mm-hmm. So when I describe my business, I say I have an online baking business. That doesn't even cover it, right? I have an online consulting business. That doesn't cover it. I have an online group of amazing followers who feed my cup every day with our interactions. Well, that doesn't even start to cover it. Like, so it's kind of this weird thing. And then we have our big website launching next week. And that is going to house all of our free recipes, which is unheard of, because people just, they keep them locked up, and that's great for them. But for me, I don't want to make money off of them. I want to find companies that are going to advertise with me, and I want them to send me product that I can try so I can show people, this works with this and this works with that, and this maybe doesn't work as well. You know, like I want to be like the target of the Mac world, where they come
Yeah.
in for their pharmacy and they're leaving with the new Taylor Swift CD and possibly a really cool pair of camo shorts. You know, like I just
Hell
kind of want
yeah.
to be like the one-stop shop.
I love it. Oh, and you're so well on your way, and it's been so fun to watch. So you built your business, it seems to me, through an incredible amount of hustle and grind, like insane. The amount that you post makes me tired, because I am like, I can never, like I just couldn't keep up, and I'm so impressed. And it seems you came in right place, right time, but you saw the opportunity of Reels because they had just
The
launched
first
it,
day.
right?
The first day.
The first day. Oh, okay. So you saw the opportunity of Reels, and you dived in headfirst, more than anyone I have ever seen on ground today. And is that a major contributor to your growth? Do you think?
No, it's so funny. So I have 2 reels right now that just keep jumping up, 20,000 views a day. One of them is a ridiculous, where I remixed a guy's reel where I have my Mac and then it switches music and we're both wearing bonnets. So that reel has over 500,000. And then I did this really cool mixing video for Chef Master, and that reel has real close to 500,000. But those aren't followers for me, right? Just because you see someone's reel, you don't go follow them. But it does help with the 3 rule that I believe in. It takes 3 positive interactions with our account to be sold for life. So if they can connect with one of my funny reels or jam out to 90s music on an off day, then I feel like that's just one step closer for them becoming part of us.
It's been a good way for you to show your brand, because when I think about you, I think bright and colorful. I think like exceptional macarons, and your bubbly, sparkling, bright personality, dancing and rapping to 90s hip hop. That's what I think. And that's part of your brand.
That is my brand.
That is your brand. But people get to see you, and that's what I think, and like what your brand is about, and then they get to see, oh my gosh, look at these great things and these free recipes, and then they come and follow.
You know, before, the gram was a very curated place, right? We could go to someone's feed and everything's in the same filter and everything is like perfect, and the lighting and people just aren't connecting with that as much. I don't think. And so for me, I'm my true and unapologetic self every day when I'm dancing in my kitchen.
Yes.
You're going to find out whether the camera's on or the camera's not on. I'm actually switching out Max as we speak.
Oh, here we go. So for podcast listeners, check out the YouTube video, but she is literally, they're a pistachio color, but what is the proper color for that? I called it pistachio.
This is a moss green, but you can call it pistachio. That's a really dark redwood or a mauve. And then we got one more
They look amazing
sheet.
For podcast users. Go check them out on her gram and take a look at this. We're getting behind the scenes look as we speak right now. Yeah. So do you think, what was your strategy going in? Was your strategy going in to gain like the attention from starting from zero, starting your business brand new? Was it just to post as much as possible, or what?
So I hired someone, right? So I took one of those 14-day challenges, and it opened up. So I had always run a business from my brick and mortar, but it was just me on my intuition, right? So I hired someone for one of those 14-day challenges, and I learned a lot. But then in the ultimate end game, I had to go with my instinct a lot too. So I switched it up. So every day I post a story, a color combination, something of that. And then I post a supporting reel to that topic. And that is just something I felt like, okay, well, I can tell them about this, but then I can show them too in a 30-second clip how to get this. Having someone give you a little bit of structure so then you can have that freedom of creativity to flow. So otherwise you can feel a little upside down and a little backwards. So I just had someone say, okay, try this and try this and try this. And so I tried that, tried that, tried that. And then I really just went to my roots and I just dug deep for, okay, what do I want to see on a page? What do I want to experience on a page? How do I want my page to be? And I went from perfectly staged photos of these cookies to me,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
to me and all the, like I got away from what I thought people wanted, that perfectly manicured page, to just raw, unapologetic
Mm-hmm.
me. And that was when the switch happened.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
So
Well, you guys have to check it out. It's incredible. Now, you've been able to get a lot of opportunities and collaborations because of your hard work and hustle and grind. And
yeah,
did
yeah,
you tell me that you are now doing like some branding consulting for people too?
yeah, yeah.
Like
So
you
I'm
got recruited
helping.
for a pretty big company, right?
Yeah,
Okay, a pretty good sized company, and
yeah.
you're doing what, rebranding for them?
Yep, I'm helping them navigate their social media during a rebrand.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well,
So, and I think this is why you can hire professional people to do that. Or, and I'm professional. Like I know everything about business, I know everything about social media, but I also have this brain that just won't quit.
mm-hmm.
And I will think of things and like all day long just voice message them, okay, we need to actually do this with this and this.
Yeah.
And then we take that bucket of ideas and we sift through it and we come up with the best strategy. And so am i am I an expert at it? I'm an expert at creativity.
Yeah.
So to me, and I have polished my brand.
Mm-hmm.
Am I done polishing my brand? Oh, absolutely not. There is no finish, because for me, like it's so hard, right? We all like base our value on that number. Like, oh, I
Yes.
gotta hit
Oh,
10,000. I
yeah.
gotta hit 10,000. It's like all we want is to swipe up. Look at the things I swiped up to: Chick-fil-A, McDonald's nuggets. I should do a swipe up to Dottie's. Like I use it for like the most goofy things, because we just want that number. We want that number. And then we hit that number and we're like, okay, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yeah.
we're we're valuable. But
Yeah.
when really it's hard for us to say, hey, I'm valuable even at 3,000 followers. I'm
Mm-hmm.
valuable at 1,500 followers. Underestimate me. I dare you. I'm valuable at
Mm-hmm.
600 followers. And that
Absolutely.
was for me. And now I'm kind of going through this thing where I feel like I belong at the 400,000 table. I
Yeah.
feel like I have the right to go up to someone with a 400,000 followers and be like, I'm valuable, follow me, notice me, but I'm not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because for them, I'm just still this little account.
Right.
But for me, I'm like this, you know,
Oh, absolutely.
I'm huge. That's what it feels
Absolutely.
like.
Are you so I want to talk about the branding thing for a second, then I might jump back because I have another question about social media in general. But did you get as much enjoyment and fulfillment? I think, I don't know if you're just starting in on this branding consulting and stuff like that. I know that I've reached out to you and I begged you to talk to me after this podcast about some of my stuff and strategy stuff. But do you get as much fulfillment doing that for other people as you do for yourself?
I feel like I get inspired and I love creativity on any platform, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's my account or people's accounts. Or, like I start out just making reels for a couple of companies,
Yeah.
and they would pay me to make reels for them. And
Yeah.
now I'm like, I love it. I love feeling their accomplishment. I love feeling that.
Do you have do you have a like a because that's kind of like influencer income. I don't know what you want to call it, but are you monetizing that pretty regularly? Like, are people requesting you fairly often, or do you have a couple companies you're consistently working with?
I have a couple companies I'm consistently working with, but I'm consistently working towards bigger.
Yeah.
No, that's not right. The companies I work with now, I love them. I
Mm-hmm.
believe in their brand, and that's one thing that I'm never going to be an influencer by the way of, I
Right.
am not going to talk about any old thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have to know it, love it, believe in it, use it, cherish it, like it's mine for me to talk about it. And I will always keep that standard. Otherwise, I just become white noise in the sea of influencers. And, you know, and I don't want to be that. I want to matter.
Yeah.
I want people to know that if I talk about something, it's because it works or it's wonderful. Half the things I promote on our page, I get not a cent from
Right.
companies.
Mm-hmm.
I just promote them because they're great products for what I'm doing. And
Will
that's
you,
just
if
bottom
they were
line.
to reach out, is that something that you're willing to monetize if you believe about it, like affiliate type marketing stuff,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
collaboration or sponsored
Yeah.
stuff? Cool. I
Yeah.
just think
Because
that's
remember,
right around the corner for you.
yeah, at the end of the day, I still have to pay for the party, right? So I still have to pay
100%.
for, you know,
Yeah.
like I can work for free all day long, but at the end of the day, you do have to have something coming in so you can keep your business going. So you
Right.
can pay the SEO professional to build the website. So you can pay someone to help clean up your Pinterest board. So you can have someone teach you
Mm-hmm.
about how to blog. You know, you still have to have, I
Yeah.
don't know everything, so I still need money coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, do you think that there's still opportunity for people on Reels to utilize Reels to help
Yeah.
gain attention and
I
grow their
think
brand?
this is my one advice about Instagram. If they launch something new, do it.
Mm-hmm.
They launched live rooms. Do them.
Mm-hmm.
Have three of your buddies on the live room. I feel like if Instagram launches something, they want to push that thing forward, right? They're trying to be the target of social media. They want to be Snapchat. They want to be, you know, MySpace. They want to be Facebook. They
Yeah.
want to be, you know, they want to be all these things too in one spot. So if they're going to tell you something, like if they're going to introduce Reels, that means it's probably not going to be algorithmed, which means it shows it to 100% of 100%. So
Mm-hmm.
right now, your posts are so algorithmed based on your engagement and your following number that sometimes your post might be only be seen by 10% of your following.
Right. Whereas Reels
Reels
are pushed out
are
to
shown to
all right now.
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
So, is the advice you're giving, like if you were I want to give the audience here some real tangible stuff, no matter where they're at, if they have a business, if they're trying to grow their personal
Yep.
brand,
Yep.
if they are working for a big company. Is that the strategy and technique that you would recommend? Is kind of what you said, like a post and then a reel associated with that post, and then stories kind of all tied in general? I know that's hard because it depends on the business
Yeah.
or the person or
It depends
or
on the
the
business.
company, but
It
maybe you
depends on
could.
the business and it depends on your following. I have a very active following.
Mm-hmm.
I get 300 to 400 DMs a day from people just
Oh.
connecting with me, and I connect back. I answer every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's different for my account. Now, if it was just like someone running a business, sometimes it's not tolerated to post that much. You know, like it depends on where your business is at and what your platform is and what you're selling. So for me, for you, I would say I post once a day and then I post a reel. And
Mm-hmm.
I could post 7 reels a day. That's how many reels I make.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's hard for me just to post that. I want to post 5 reels every day. I
Uh-huh.
love reels. I love
Yeah.
reels.
Yeah.
But would people get sick of that? Yeah, probably.
Have you? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna ask one question, then come back. Have you dived into TikTok as much as Reels?
I'm not on TikTok.
Do you think you might?
So I had TikTok to monitor the 12-year-old who lives and dies by a TikTok like. I got on there to monitor that.
Yeah.
And everyone says you need to move to TikTok. And I have 37,000 4-second videos saved in my phone right now. So could I do TikTok with a walk in the park? Yeah. But what do I love about Instagram? Instagram is people who want to do what I do connecting with me. TikTok is people wanting to be entertained by what you do. It's a
Mm-hmm.
different market.
Mm-hmm.
So I just I know I need to get to TikTok. I know I do. But here's another thing. TikTok doesn't go well on Instagram. If you post your TikTok onto Instagram,
Right.
one, the sync is now off. Have you noticed that? They've adjusted
Yes.
the
Yeah, you have to
yep, so
definitely
you're
alter
not
it.
synced up with the words. And two, they're not a big fan. It'd be like you taking McDonald's into a Chipotle. Like they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
love that? No. Are they gonna allow it? Probably.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I just really focus on the platform that I can connect with. But I see the value in TikTok. I see if I wanted to get more followers, TikTok would be where I go.
Uh-huh.
But I want real followers that really like value me, value my time, aren't demanding in my DMs,
Mm-hmm.
understand who I am. And so I kind of just stay where I'm at.
Got you. I think that you could do the same thing on TikTok, but I hear what you're saying and about the strategy. I also think you can take your reels and put them on TikTok, so you go reverse and then find the audio in TikTok and do that organic audio in TikTok. You could do the same thing, and it's a little bit easier to edit, I've found, than reels. But I'm interested to see if and when you do dive in, because I think that you would absolutely blow up, and then you could potentially, with how you are and your personality, I think the people who are going to want to stick around are going to stick around. They're going to be loyal, and then they would end up on your gram. That's just what I've seen after spending hours every night on it, because I'm slightly addicted. But I love that you have like a strategy, and you know like really where your market is, and you're focused on that. I love it. I love it. What are some of the most difficult parts of social media, would you say, for you?
Some of the hardest parts of social media are, finding the time, right? So
Mm-hmm.
not only am I a full-time baker, but I'm a full-time mom and a full-time wife and a full-time,
Oh my gosh, preach.
volunteer
Mm-hmm.
and a full-time community member. And so it's like really finding that balance where you're in the present, you're around your family, and then also, you know, being on Instagram for your Instagram family. So
Mm-hmm.
I love social media. I do. I love social media, but there comes a point where sometimes your family needs you.
Mm-hmm.
So
The
that just
balance.
has to be set aside. Yeah,
Right.
and also like I hate the people who don't know you who just want to burn down your house instead of just unfollow you. Like
Mm.
I haven't experienced this yet, and bless my heart, I'm glad I haven't. But I really dread the day when someone's just like just just no sensory and just let you have it. Like I worry
Mm-hmm.
about that day
Do you?
because people are real brave behind keyboards.
Yeah, oh, they are. What worries you about that so much? I'm so interested in that. I understand. Yeah, what worries you about that so much?
I think it's just, it's just like, okay, before you hit 10,000, you see the ones digit. And if you ever are watching it real time and that ones digit goes down a number, you instantly doubt everything you're doing. For what?
Yeah.
A bot? It's probably a
Yeah.
bot,
Probably a bot.
but
Yeah.
all your value has just been stacked on that number. So then it goes down and you're like, well, that's it. No one
Mm-hmm.
cares. No one likes me. No one. And it really is. It's just that needing to please everybody, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in general, we're probably getting deeper than what you want with this, but
I want to go
in
deep.
general,
It's
I'm
good.
a pleaser. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
pleaser, and I want people to have a good time, and I want people to be left better than what I found them.
Mm-hmm.
So if I get a negative message or so, something that's a little abrasive, how will I handle that? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you
Luckily, it
doing
hasn't
any?
happened, but
Are you doing anything to get ready to handle that? Because this is why I actually want to go deep on this. I worry a lot about how much value is in followers. That's why I very rarely call the people on my gram followers. I don't like the word. People are very hung up on views and followers, and how that does translates to their own personal value. And
yeah,
so I think there needs to be more discussion on the reality of the situation, that it actually doesn't determine your value, which we hit on at the beginning, and I'm so glad you did.
yeah,
And but also, this is a very real thing, because I've actually been waiting. I got like one funny thing on one of my TikToks, which my TikTok's just ridiculous, and I made a joke about it. But I have the very similar feeling where I'm like, okay, at what point do I start getting like people are gonna start giving me a whole bunch of crap for how I dress, or for my hair. Anything.
Right,
Something I
right. Just
said.
attacking you.
Some cinnamon roll I made.
Right.
So I think it's
right.
important. So how are you kind of like mentally and emotionally preparing for that? And maybe you haven't yet. Maybe you're just kind of thinking about it, but.
So I think, right when you're first starting, right, you're just, like I said, you want that 10K. You want that 10K. You want the status of not even the swipe up, but you want to feel relevant and you want to feel like you have value. So you put all your eggs on the follower basket. So then it's really easy to feel not valued when that number goes down.
Right.
You don't feel like you're valued when it goes up, but you feel like you're not valued when it drops down because it's the negative, right? It's the negative impact. And what I've done on my account, I feel like is a little bit of a unicorn. One, no one grows 12,000 in a year, probably.
Exactly.
Two, I have great followers. That if someone even made kind of an off remark, it's like they're like the squad, man. They're like almost protecting me in a way. It's very sweet. Like if someone votes no on a poll, like I was doing this whole color series and I said, "Oh man, are you sick of me? I'm sick of me." Like I tend to like already call it out before it happens. That's my strategy. Like call out the Karens. Sorry, Karen, but call out the Karens before the Karens come at you. And if someone marks no on a poll, I have 10 DMs. I can't believe them. Who do they think they are? Yeah. Don't they know? Like they're just protecting me without even understanding that they're protecting me. And it's so endearing. It's so endearing. But I just have to remind myself constantly, one, I'm valuable even if people don't see my value. And two, what did numbers ever get us that connection didn't, So if you want 10,000 followers, go buy them. Go buy your 10,000 followers. My point of success is my engagements, my insights, how many people are watching my stories, how many people are staying on my stories. Like I want to know that they're here for more than just to fluff their account, and I want them to know that I value them more than the number.
I don't know if this will resonate with you at all, but I do feel like when you're in this situation, and I'm not there yet, but I have thought about it, but when you're in the situation of potentially, like you're in the public eye and you're like trying to be for a whole bunch of different reasons, connection, creativity, whatever, maybe I want to sell a shirt later and I would like to give so much value that people really want to buy that shirt because I've given them so much, whatever it is. I think you have to start kind of preparing and think about. One thing I learned kind of the hard way running a business, brick and mortar with employees, is I was so close, and I still am, to a lot of my employees. Like I really want it to be a good place to work. I really want it to be company culture, employee satisfaction first. But I got to the point where I was so emotional about if they quit or if we ended on a bad note that I actually had to kind of stop. I had to kind of put up a little bit of a wall, which I normally would not like to do in a lot of situations. But have you thought about that, like, very much?
Yeah.
About kind of like taking a little bit of a step back on like, and that's hard. It's so hard when that's genuinely your authentic self to like be vulnerable and be real. But I'm just thinking about that out loud in this moment, like at that point where I
had an account that was bigger than mine say to me, "You just delete the DMs." And I'm like, "You what?" Like that is not how I am. That's not how I've ever been. I don't know that I could do that. And so it was hard for me to like even think of that. Even now, just saying out loud, I'm like, oh, I would just never openly delete someone's message to me. Like they're trying to find answers or connect. But I think there comes to some point, the bigger I get, I can't spend hours every day on the DMs because I'm still running my business. So I'm sure the day is going to come when I'm not going to be able to answer everybody. And that's going to actually probably, like you, break my heart more than break theirs.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I think too, another thing that we learned in the brick and mortar that I tell my team is like, the customer actually isn't always right. And so, and also, don't take crap, don't give crap. That's like a family value that I have. And I translate that to business, saying, if someone's giving you crap at the window, and you are right, you can be kind. And if they are like being mean, you can refuse service. And I want you to refuse service. You can give them one more chance and say something like, if you're going to keep talking to me like that, I just can't help you, and you're going to need
Yeah, you can draw your line. You can draw your line.
That's what I'm thinking of, like, you know, maybe the DMs you delete are just mean ones, you know, and not, because you got to think about your emotional availability and the value that you know, your energy stores and what you're going to give and where you're going to give it. But that is something to think about.
Now, mind you, I've never had a mean DM yet. So for me, I'm like, I'm just getting all these nice, wonderful DMs. I want to respond to every one of them.
It'll come.
I think I would be able to delete the mean ones.
Yeah, because people are super brave and obnoxious behind the keyboard and bored. And they just don't have anything better to do. So I think it's just better to kind of like mentally prepare. I have to ask you a couple things. We are pretty close on our time. But I have missed, I'm going to take a big like left turn. I've missed music so much, Barb. I've missed music so much it hurts. I bought tickets to Justin Bieber the other day. He had announced Salt Lake.
He canceled.
I bought tickets. I dropped some coin, Barb, because I was so excited, and he canceled. But I want to hear, in your bio, it says something about 90s rap, or maybe just says 90s rap.
Yeah,
in your bio,
90s rap.
I want to talk about concerts you've been to, favorite
old
school concerts you've been to, or who you would love to see right now, like from any era.
So I've been to JT, Justin Timberlake.
Oh,
and I went to Justin Timberlake as a mom, like full on 3 kids at home, and I am like burning that. Like he was within touching distance of me when his stage moved, and I'm like, instead of like enjoying the moment, I'm like Facebooking, like look, like, I'm touching where his feet are. I'm touching where his feet are, but like
JT's epic.
Yes, Jade. I mean, if you're gonna go to a concert, don't waste your money on the small stuff. But other concerts I've been to, I went and saw Pink when she was playing the county fairgrounds.
I saw her twice.
Back before Pink was Pink. I mean, she was Pink, but she wasn't Pink.
County Green. Oh my gosh, county fairgrounds.
I saw her at the county. She stepped down. She visited with me for a minute, and she went on. Like it was like
she is a champion. I could spend an entire hour talking about Pink.
She has overcome some things. She's a queen. Some other concerts I've been to, I'm trying to think. It's been so long since I've seen music, right?
How about your top 3 rappers, dead or alive? Because you said 90s.
Top 3 yeah.
Did it say 90s rap in your bio?
90s rap, yes. 90s,
okay, top
90s
3
rap.
rappers. Let's go.
Tone Loc.
Okay.
LL Cool J.
Mm-hmm.
Tupac, rest in peace. Notorious B, rest in peace. Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. Like
gosh,
Nipsey wasn't rapping back in the 90s, but man, Hustle and Motivate is the song I play in my kitchen every morning to get me going. But you know, Salt and Pepper.
Here I go. Here I go again.
Yeah. There's so many. TLC was a big one growing up. Fan club or fan mail, I think is what it's called. You know, Janet Jackson. There is just so many. But when it comes to like good, honest rap, I just looked one up. Do you remember the Skeletones? It was ska music.
It's the Skeletones. What song? Do you remember? Like
Skeletones? I just did a reel to it where I'm jumping. Dun, 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 dun. But I used to listen to ska music. Blink 182. Grew up in the same neighborhood I did.
Oh my gosh.
You know, just so many, like Linkin Park.
We have some original origins because I grew up on country from my country father. So I grew up on country, then got asked to join a band, and we played super heavy music because I play guitar. And then that's when I went to my punk stage. So that's where was my Blink 182 and lots of ska. Less Than Jake.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, Barb. Well, I think we are pretty close on time, but I wanted to see what are, hang on one second here.
We need to do a volume 2 on this. We're not
We
done.
absolutely, no, I know we are not done. We like scrape the surface. I would love a round 2, actually very, very soon if we could. I have to ask this
Well,
because
when
I
we're
don't
together,
know.
when we're together in June, let's just do it.
Let's do it. Yes, please. So
Yeah.
I have to ask about this because he put it in my notes. Chris, my branding buddy, he did a little bit of research. He said, ask about the chicken story, bringing home 18
Oh my gosh.
chickens. So can we please hear the chicken? Can we please hear the chicken story? And then I'm gonna have you leave us with a couple pieces of business advice.
Okay.
What's the
Chicken story. So the pandemic just hit. My husband's out of work. All my interior design architect jobs stopped. The kids are home. We can't find eggs. We can't find anything. And I said, let's build a chicken coop. And this was before wood was $1 million. So we built this like Nantucket dream house for chickens, right? Like it's gorgeous. It's on our highlights. And he's like, now, Barb, this coop holds 7 to 8 chickens. And I heard 7 or 8. And I was like, yeah, we're good. So I go to the chicken store, the feed store, and here's all these little chicks. Buck, 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 buck. Right. And I'm like, I'll take 19 of them. 7 or 8, 19 will fit. Let's all go home. So I bought 18. I bought 18 chickens. Okay. And I got home and he was like, WTF. And I'm like, well, I bet look how little they are, and the coop's so big, and it's fine. And he's like, they grow up, Barb. And I was like, okay then. So now we had 18. One she turned out to be a he, and we couldn't have a rooster in our area. So Princess Big Eyes, went to heaven. Found his way to Jesus with some help. And I wanted to drop him into the backyard of our friends who were out of town. I thought that would be the funniest prank. Like they get home from vacation and there's like a chicken clucking around their backyard. But I got outvoted on that one. So anyways, we still have all 17 girls. They're still alive.
He actually put in here voting ? Voting ? Did you guys have who voted?
Who voted?
Yeah, you said you lost the vote on that one.
Oh, so my husband, I was like, let's just go drop it into our friend's backyard. And it's his business partner. And I was like, let's just go pop it over the wall. How funny would that be? That'd be so funny. We could set up a camera when they got home. And he was like, no, Barb, that's ridiculous. But I told the business partner, he's like, that would have been the funniest crap. I'm like, I know. I know.
Well, maybe we need to do a chicken prank when you're here, just to I feel like that was unresolved. Well, thank you so much for being on. Go ahead.
Oh, I was like, I did a chicken prank as a teenager, and it was epic. I thought it'd be really funny to steal a lawn ornament and take it to Italy with me and take pictures around Italy and then return it with the pictures. And I broke it.
Oh,
it got
shoot.
The duck got smashed in the airline, so I have like this duck head. I'm carrying around like the Vatican.
Oh no! Oh my gosh!
The Sistine Chapel. There's a duck head in the picture. So I had to return just the duck head and all these cool pictures. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I love it.
Anyways,
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna find a thing of poultry, some type of poultry, and I'm gonna do the Barb prank. I love that.
Yeah.
So Barb, if you have someone starting off an online business, maybe not in food. We're not going to say food. They're doing an online business. How would you tell them to start their research on, how they're going to utilize Instagram or the socials for their brand, for their own personal brand? What questions do they ask themselves? What do they do?
So a couple points of advice on that. One, be aware of who you want your audience to be, right? If you want the soccer mom, talk to the soccer mom. Talk to someone like you. If you want someone completely unknown to you, find an individual that reminds you of that brand and talk to them like you're talking to your friend. Now, if my favorite piece of advice for anyone starting out is you don't know what to spend your time on, right? You don't know where to best spend your the flow of things. And Here's the quote I have everywhere in my house. If it doesn't matter in 5 years, don't give it 5 minutes. So when I'm building my brand now, if I'm not going to care about it in 5 years, I don't want to spend 5 minutes on it. So
I love that. That is hugely valuable. Can I throw it back to you, Barb? And when you get your first nasty message, if it's not going to matter in 5 years,
yep.
But I want you to not spend 5 seconds on it. Just, it's done.
Thank you. Keep reminding me of this. Our friendship goes beyond this podcast. So when I get my first bad message, knowing me, I'll probably call the people out on my stories because I'm a little feisty that way. And two, it'd be someone who doesn't know me, who's so disconnected from me, it's more about them than me, and I'll just probably let it go.
My last question, this is 100% selfish. Can we take a second and look at my Instagram? And I want you to give me a 60-second Barb branding, what you would do for my personal gram. So it's at Sierra.McCleve. She's looking at it right now. We're going to look at it together. I messaged Barb 2 or 3 weeks ago and I said, yo, buddy, I need your help on how I should be utilizing all of the options on gram to grow my personal gram. And so I want to see, Barb, we're close enough, we're good enough friends, you could be me. And I think this will be wildly helpful for people. So just people on the podcast right now, it's at Sierra.McCleve. I have 1,206 followers. That doesn't even matter. I'm following 2,063. I think she's going to talk about that in a second. That's a little bit of background. My last 3 posts, it was a podcast advertisement for my one with Electric Edge, another one, and then me doing handstand push-ups on a reel because I was really excited that I finally got handstand push-ups.
Yes. So when I first see your profile, one, I love your picture. It fits who you are. The first thing I would say is your bio. It's just like these little, tell them who you are.
Okay.
Hey, quit.
We're pausing for puppy intrusion. It's okay.
Sorry.
No
you're not speaking to me. You're telling me about you. Tell me why I need to be on your account. Tell me what I'm going to find on your account, right?
Okay.
Sometimes the word entrepreneur, people are going to put a bar of what they're going to learn from you, right? Mm-hmm. So you can be an entrepreneur, and in your bio, I would just say, learning all the tools to be an entrepreneur. I'm building business while push-ups and dealing with real life. I'm telling you about me. That's one thing. I love highlights that have have more uniform to them.
Yes.
And you need way more highlights, girl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 8.
Yep.
I think I have 70.
They're not even up to date.
So get that. Work on that.
Absolutely. I love it.
And then your matrix, your matrix is a lot of you talking, or it's these Make a Dent podcasts, right? So I would try to find a way to break that up on your matrix. So these are real close to, I would, find a way to maybe break that up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then let's see what do you got in your reels department? Do you have a lot? Oh yeah, you have enough. You have some.
I mean, I have some.
Hey, you have the one. You have the one I made you.
Of course I do.
I made you a reel.
One. Was that the beignet one?
That's a beignet one. And then I made you a collage one too. And I did it to Baby's Got Back, I think.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Those ones, a couple of those live on the page.
Dottie's page. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I would do way more reels, friend.
What do you think?
And then,
can I ask a follow-up question on reels real quick? Because then I really want to hear what you're going to say. On reels, do you think, for my businessy stuff, how should I approach that? Because I'm talking about business, I am talking about fitness, but I don't want to be a fitness instructor. It's just so much part of my life, and it's helped me with every aspect of my life that I would feel wrong to not talk about it. It's like a big piece.
So then you're just talking about your fitness journey.
Yes.
your journey as in fitness. You're not
How
trying to be a fitness coach.
how do you think I should utilize Reels for business content?
For business content, you're going to talk about things that apply to your business, right?
Hmm.
So, for business like for Dottie's content, is that what you're talking
It
about? Or
would
for
be
like
like
the
business
For
consulting, like
Sierra branding.
Sierra branding. So like me
So,
consulting, giving business tips.
so I would do like a quote, picture, quote on your matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Picture, quote, picture. Like throw in
Okay.
quotes in there.
Yeah.
Throw in, fitness post every now and then. Throw in, like 2 seconds with Sierra. I don't know. Come up with like something like a little quip of something, and then give like a 2 second advice tip once a week.
Nice.
If I were you, I'd use your reels as that tips on life.
Okay.
So reels should be informative, entertaining, or educational.
Yep.
So if I were you, I would do reels about, well, if you're gonna do 75 hard, here's how you prep. 3 things you can do to prep for 75 hard.
Ooh.
2 things you can do to prep for your morning meetings to get your hustle on.
Oh.
3 things you should do. 3 things you should do every day to, maximize your time as a business owner.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. I'm doing all those things. Thank you so much for the consulting advice that I somehow swindled into the podcast. I hope other people find it valuable. Barb knows what she's talking about. Barb, we have to do a round 2. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really think we only scraped the surface. Tell everyone where they can find you and anything you have up and coming that you want people to know about. I know you have a website coming. What's on
So
the
our
horizon? So where
website,
can they find you?
our website is sweetmacshop.com. Everything, all of our handles are the same. Sweet Mac Shop, Instagram, sweetmacshop.com. That's going to be where all of our free recipes are, tips and tricks, color theory. We will teach you every last aspect of Max for free. So,
absolutely. Yep. And next time, Barb, on the video, will you show us your KitchenAid collection, please? Your colorful. Oh, you're gonna do it now? Let's do it now. That'll be the final thing.
Oh, you want it next? Sorry.
No, do it now.
Here, I'll show you this for you, and then I'm gonna. Okay, here I come.
The KitchenAid collection.
I'm coming right where you are.
So she's walking right now into her kitchen. For those on the podcast.
Okay. No, I'm walking into my office.
Into your office.
Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. And then there's 5 more around my house.
And they are every color.
Every color.
Every single color. I love it.
Because I live my life in color.
It does. All right, Barb, thank you so much. Love to have you on. Thanks for making a dent in my life and in so many people's lives. Appreciate you. And I'm excited to see you next month.
Yes, it's going to be a good time.
Okay, we'll do.
I'm dying for Dottie's. I'm craving it.
Yes, well, we will spend some time there for sure. Eat kolaches and do something, a chicken prank. That's what we'll do.
Yeah. It's on my Donkey Kong friend.
All right. Thank you, Barb. Have a great one.
Thank you. Bye.